Education has really one basic factor. One must want to learn. And even then, the human mind is slow in unlearning what it has been long in learning.
You use pump water.
I've been drinking pump water. See? So I'm happy. You're happy.
And he's won the game.
I've ended the game.
Ghana's upper region, a semi-arid savanna providing home sites for some 1 million inhabitants. Inhabitants whose daily need for water involved them in a deadly game of chance. A game whose spaces were called diarrhea, malaria, hepatitis, and intestinal parasites. Diarrheal infection alone is probably the greatest cause of severe child malnutrition in the world today, claiming 5 million young lives each year. In the upper region, contaminated water sources and centuries of poor individual and community health habits had produced an infant mortality rate estimated at 300 per thousand. The infant mortality rate in Canada is 9 per 1,000 births. The changing of the upper region's health attitudes and simple water use behaviors is requiring years of dedicated effort by the human resources of two governments. For in 1971, the Canadian government responded to a request from Ghana and established a joint project, which was to be administered by the Ghana Water and Sewage Corporation and the Canadian International Development Agency. The purpose of the project? To ensure supplies of fresh water for the region. The period 1974 to 1979 saw some 2,500 wells dug, and each borehole equipped with a hand pump. The Upper Region Water Supply Project was successful. But then, in the midst of plenty, problems. Under the constant strain of use, the pumps began to break down. The pump sites themselves became contaminated, and it was realized that improving the water quality through technology did not automatically improve hygiene habits, habits which had developed over centuries. And so began the Water Utilization Project, or WUP, a project which brought CIDA workers and village volunteers together and created a team whose goal was to educate the villagers in ways to both maintain and properly use the new and sanitary water supply. A goal which instilled in the villagers, as they learned to care for their own water needs, a sense of commitment.
Council of Ghana. Mama 1.5 taba. Kada tinga za wabi. But top al pokale bia. Top al bura. Umbo hipua. Umbo tala hiseo. Pompe Ko'om. Yela kosumo. Bugata diaro. Yapulako. Mogoloko. Wasem zotri. Batlako. Bana zabde bahya.
Nyalho. Anya nyal beha.
Asige kwa. La puasa.
We started with a component which we call the volunteer network, of village education workers. Now this was done to very quickly get into as many villages as possible where we had hand pumps to do some consistent ongoing education with the villagers on protection of their water supplies. Now these volunteers were selected from a variety of disciplines. Basically the requirement was that they have some experience with field work, extension work, that they be of the indigenous to the area, that they speak the language fluently, that they are healthy enough to do the work, and that they would not be itinerant. We wanted them to be people who were born and raised in that district, well known and well respected, and that they would remain in that district for at least 1 or 2 years to do this work.
The women we work with, some of them are food sellers, and you know they use a lot of water. So as a view, when I present those pictures to them, they are able to boil their water and keep their water clean.
What do you think is the most important thing that we can speak to the women about in terms of keeping their water clean and sanitation and domestic hygiene?
The most important thing is the washing of the calabashes, because alongside with the education, we haven't got any posters telling them to wash calabashes and the sand which they use. So as we go along, if we talk to them to use clean sand, I think we have covered all the education.
Community involvement became the cornerstone of all parts of the educational program. Of prime importance was the training of maintenance people, called hand pump caretakers. These villagers would become responsible for routine inspections, and along with the key involvement of Ghana Water and Sewage Corporation workers, a steady supply of fresh water for each village was assured. But community education is more than pump maintenance. Other duties demanded that these workers supervise the construction and maintenance of concrete pads and drainage ditches at each pump site. This meant travel to many villages in many directions. At some pumps, they speak about the best type of gravel to be used to construct the required 9 by 9 foot pads, and where such stones can be located. Basic financial responsibilities, such as obtaining money for the purchase of cement needed to construct the pad and drainage ditch, were discussed and learned.
So when will you come here? When will it be ready? Do you think?
In this instance, both the stones and the money would be ready on market day, the day after tomorrow. In another village, Martin talks with the men about proper maintenance of the water runoff site. Information about cleanliness at the pump site is brought to the villagers in many ways, such as the use of posters developed by members of the project team.
The sanitation projects that we're trying to encourage in villages are, first of all, good drainage at the pump site and just site cleanliness generally.
It's for the animals to drink from, Martin tells the men. But now it is clogged up. The dirt must be swept away from the sides. It must be cleaned. If you don't keep it clean, it will only fill up again. The villagers are encouraged to build pit latrines with covers called Mozambique slabs, a circular construction requiring only 1 bag of cement to complete. Approximately 400 of these latrines have been constructed by the villagers, and through their use, another major source of water contamination has been eliminated. As the villagers learn to care for the pumps and sites, officials of the Ghana Water and Sewage Corporation are pleased by the success of this phase of the project.
Villagers know CIDA as being synonymous with rural water supply activities, and this is a credit to CIDA and the government of Ghana. So we hope that the villagers will continue to support the rural water supply project and get involved and contribute towards the maintenance of the hand pumps so that we can maintain the 90% operational level at all times.
The transfer of technology must always be accompanied by an educational program, which provides individuals with the knowledge and the desire to use that technology successfully. Teaching people to repair a hand pump is one thing, but changing the attitudes and daily behaviors of thousands of villagers is quite another. A volunteer education network is established as the principal means of getting the message to the people. These volunteers are carefully trained so that their participation and leadership in the activities will be successful. Methodologies are developed and field tested, ranging from the use of posters to the use of music and dance as a means of disseminating information and involving villagers in the community education effort. Many unique methods are devised by the WOOP team, methods which provide the volunteers with techniques designed to actively involve the villagers, and which effectively communicate the new methods of individual and compound cleanliness.
At this point, we have almost all of the behaviors that are detrimental in the compound on. So I think at this point you might just ask the audience, what do they think about these practices? Is this really what they see happening in the compound? And in what ways do they think that these practices may be harmful? So as you're talking about it, you may be moving the fly from the feces to the pito, to the animals, to the pito, and so on. Like as they talk, you could be showing them how this feces is being transferred.
Throughout the program, Lynn's efforts to involve women in the activities remains constant. The project's success will be measured to a great extent by the team's ability to reach these women and change old habits. The children's game of snakes and ladders is being modified for use as a teaching tool. Only in this version, a wrong move can land one on a space called guinea worm, typhoid fever, amoebic dysentery. Spaces to be avoided at all costs.
I'll catch you on the. You can't catch me. Two.
Okay, and then when
Go ahead. Three. 1, 2, 3. Oh, again. See?
drinking dirty water. So, you're in trouble.
Go back to
So,
somewhere.
you've got guinea run down.
You see his fault. He doesn't listen to advice. He come talk to you every day about drinking good water. You don't want to drink. Okay. 3. 1, 2, 3.
Happy face.
See, I'm always happy.
In villages across the region, the music, the women and children dancing, the ever-present whoop worker defines the learning process in action. In Lynn's office, scheduling of volunteer activity continues.
Now we have to take samples of water, one from a surface source and one from the clean water. Then we'll bring them back into the classroom and we'll discuss the difference in quality of these two samples of water. And they should be able to see it quite clearly.
Martin is working with members of other government agencies in an effort to extend the project's ability to reach even greater numbers of people. This cooperative effort gains further government support for the team. He continues to stress the need to drink safe, clean, pipe water, and reinforces the whoop message. While attending a local water rally, another successful means of involving villagers, one of the local chiefs introduces Martin to the newly elected Water Users Committee.
You must be sure to take care of the pumps. If the pump breaks down, you should report it to the pump man, and he will report it to the Ghana Water and Sewerage Corporation. You shouldn't drink bad water and get sick. You should help yourselves, and God will help you too.
The advantage to having a woman as a pump site education worker will be explained to the Water Users Committee, and hopefully we can encourage them to involve women in this role.
What is this? That's right. She's washing bowls.
Cecilia is one of the most valuable of the volunteers. She serves not only as a village education worker, but also as a representative of Ghana's National Council of Women and Development. Here again, she uses the poster series developed by the project team to reinforce the message of cleanliness and sanitation.
What is this? A bony man who can't farm. If he is sick and cannot farm, your life will be hard. What should you do then? Take good care of your home and give him good food and clean clothes.
The other techniques that we have tried are theater, very traditional theater. So we have a drama group in Bolgatanga that has been doing some theater production on water protection and education.
Now, before we came into this scene, we realized that a lot of them were used to drinking water from ponds, from wells, and from rivers.
You don't get guinea worm from drinking water from the stream or river. You only get it when you walk in muddy water in the rainy season.
The material is pretty rigid, the script is not very flexible, and what we would like them to do is get out into more popular theater and taking groups of artists into villages and doing the performances in the village, involving the villagers themselves. We're only limited really, by our imagination. I guess one of the most visible programs that we have for public information is the puppet show.
I think you have something important to tell us. Pump water is good water. It doesn't have dirt in it. I see these people in the green dresses. They are called nurses. They have an important job. They take good care of the community. We came here to talk to you about clean water and to dance for you.
Like all of the other audiences they visit, this audience is captivated by what is not only a living theater, but a learning theater.
So we're marketing water protection and sanitation.
Although years of ongoing evaluation will be needed to determine the degree to which the personal and community health habits have changed, what has been accomplished thus far is remarkable. An average of 80% of the pumps have been operational at any one time. Through self-help projects, extended pads have been completed at 1,100 pump sites. Cattle troughs constructed at 800 sites. And almost 400 access roads have been built, all through the efforts of villagers. As the evaluation activities began, one village chief stated simply and eloquently,
"It has become a blessing indeed."
And for the Water Utilization Project Team, the Ghana Water and Sewage Corporation, the Water Users Committees, and the village education workers, it is a blessing indeed to see this new sense of commitment in action.